and like I say, perfectly within his right to decide he's going to go down and protect the city because of all the training he had or didn't have in protecting the city with, weapons like that, which I think is just
Wait, did he say he's within his right to do that?
the city wing media, because not only did this guy, which I just, and like I say, perfectly within his right to decide he's going to go down and protect the city.
Okay, so now when he's talking to Destiny, Kyle Rittenhouse, no longer a white nationalist, no longer a fascist. He's just perfectly within his right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though 10
no
seconds
ulterior
ago,
motives.
right? Even though 10 seconds ago he was like, "Who appointed this guy?" Now he's like, "Well, I guess he's perfectly within his right." Like, this is such a dishonest conversation.
Yeah. This is
Because
him
of
walking it back.
Yeah, but then the argument he's making doesn't even make sense, because if Kyle's perfectly within his right to go down there, then how is he, enticing anyone to attack him just by being there?
Yeah. He's not.
all the training he had or didn't have in protecting the city with, weapons like that, which I think is just an incredibly irresponsible thing to do. But then the guy is using it to make himself famous. Like, I can conceive of a situation.
What? Oh, he's talking about after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what is he supposed to do, Sam? What is he supposed to do? Is he's his life, his anonymity, and I can't even say that word. His life has been basically ruined at this point. I don't know what else you want from him, but
I just can't. Sam Seder even using the word irresponsible offends me. When you're talking about a riot that was completely spawned by delinquent reporting of the Jacob Blake shooting. And then everyone else. So you're telling me everybody showing up to protest something that didn't happen is the responsible thing to do?
yeah, right. Well, that's why Destiny asking that question in the beginning was relevant, because how come all these people don't have responsibility, not only for the creating the fake news, but then for the people that just lapped up the fake news uncritically?
Yeah, the people who lapped up the fake news uncritically, the people who said, get him, and chased after them, decided they were going to apprehend somebody in the street. How come, that seems pretty irresponsible.
Right.
To chase a guy who's running away to the police.
With a gun.
Yeah.
Yes,
Where's their responsibility?
Right.
Yeah. No. Stop calling people irresponsible.
Only Kyle. Everyone else is just a poor, animal that has no control over their body,
out of
their mind.
Listen, out of all the people in this situation, Kyle Rittenhouse is the most responsible person.
Yeah, I know.
There.
I know.
It's Kyle Rittenhouse. Right. It's Pistol Grandma, obviously a pillar of the a pillar of the community. It's the guy who was on the roof. He was responsible.
Yeah.
Yes. Look, there's a bunch of people there vandalizing vehicles. Now you're saying those are the responsible parties here? This is so backwards.
I know.
Yeah.
Situation where a 17 or 18-year-old kid, whatever his age was specifically at that time, and making this huge mistake of judgment. Like, I'm going to go down there with a weapon. I am not in any way trained to deal with this situation, to do crowd control or whatever it is.
I thought he was trained his whole life. I thought his mom.
Yeah.
I thought Linda Hamilton. I thought Sarah
Where's
Connor
Sarah
was training.
Connor at?
Yeah, I thought Sarah Connor was training Kyle Connor in the woods for this situation, Sam. I don't know what happened to that narrative. Completely changed, but okay.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm super psyched to do this. And I can conceive of a kid going down there, killing two people, if you want to say in a completely innocent way, and maiming a third in a completely innocent way. And then after that happens and he gets, exonerated on murder charges, I can see, if this guy then decides, like, I'm going to take some time away and do some introspection, and I'm going to, because, you know, you see this all the time. I mean, you can find YouTube videos of people who have killed people either, you know, accidentally. I drunk drove and I hit somebody, or it was dark and I hit somebody and they died, or I punched somebody one time, knocked them out and they were dead. And you see them like,
I caused a riot with my reporting and 2.5 people died. Take some time, Sam. Do some introspection. You really need to get your shit together.
Deal with the fact that they had taken 2 lives or a life. And, you know, then I would think, you know, people make mistakes, but the guy's just an asshole. And that's really all I said. I don't think I even said he was an asshole, but the implication was he's an asshole, and he's using the fact that he killed 2 people as a sort of mechanism in which to get fame. I think that is, I mean, when we talk about, you know, what's problematic in our society.
So, I mean, him trying to get fame, I think, is the natural consequence of how people on the left treat him. If one side is going to cast you as a villain, you can't be surprised when they run to the other side to be cast as a hero. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and have your life destroyed and then what, get nothing out of it? I'm not saying his action in right-wing media is good, but given how many people say he killed black people, he was a white nationalist, the guy that called into your show said that he was I think he compared him to Hitler Youth policing civil rights marches, and I think you said that was a valid point. When he's being cast in that light over and over and over again, I don't think it's very surprising that he's going to run into the arms of people on the right that are going to embrace him as a hero, especially given how much is factually incorrect about what's being stated about him. How many times people say that he killed people in defense of property, which wasn't true. How many times people are willing to downplay the other protesters. You keep mentioning the 3rd guy that was maimed. That guy got maimed running up to Rittenhouse with a Glock that he was going to shoot him with. And I think that the overall issue you have here is this constant downplaying of what was going on in Kenosha, which was a community that has, I think, as high as $50 million of property damage on a small community, $2 million of city property destroyed. There were like over 34.
Why are you bringing up property if he didn't kill those people in the service of protecting property?
What I'm saying is it's a kid that went down because he probably felt a calling to protect his community. And I think given the totality of the action that you saw, all the videos you saw, well, hold on, wait, let me finish real quick. You just okay, lots of videos of him running around doing the medico, whatever. And we can say he's a dumb kid, he's doing dumb shit, sure. But there was not a single piece of footage anywhere that was released of showing him acting in an aggressive manner towards any person ever. That never got released, ever. And instead, all we have are videos of him moving when being asked, offering water bottles and bandages or whatever to people that are saying things. There's videos that were released weeks before of him cleaning graffiti off his property, I think trying to join some youth police or whatever bullshit. It seems to me, based on everything I've seen, probably just a kid that was concerned about his community. Given that his dad lived there and he was a lifeguard there for some years, that's not the most inconceivable thing ever. So given that, hold on real quick. Given that his community was literally being destroyed, given that all the videos show him showing up to clean up graffiti, offer water bottles or whatever, showing that all of the provocation that was on video was other people attacking him. And that's what happened over and over and over again. The first shooting only happened after a guy behind the first victim got shot into the air behind him. I don't think it's fair to say that Rittenhouse went there with the goal of being like this bloodthirsty murderer that was just trying to protect property, waiting to find somebody who was going to start a fight.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
Sam Seder is in such pain here. You can just see pain all over his face. Like, oh my God.
Well, he just lied too.
Why am I being confronted with, why are you bringing up old shit, Destiny? Right. Come on. So I lied a bit on my show. I thought we were friends.
Right. Because listen to what he just said. He just lied.
I don't think it's fair to say that Rittenhouse went there with the goal of being like this bloodthirsty murderer that was just trying to protect property, waiting to find somebody who was going to start a fight.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't. But
he did say that.
He did say that. Yeah. He didn't say it in that one video that Destiny was responding to, but he said it before then. He said he went there.
That is the entire narrative. That is in the staff of the Majority Report has at this very moment. It's never changed. They believe Kyle Rittenhouse is a secret Nazi. They believe that. It's hideous.
You're right. Destiny's answer here is a good answer. If you're talking to someone with who's some semblance of honest or acting in good faith. We've fallen prey
I feel
to
like
this.
I feel like Sam Seder knows what's going on. I just, from the look on his face, it feels like he does feel some kind of remorse, but he can't.
Right.
He can't vocalize any of
Oh
that.
yeah, right. No, I was gonna say this is a doesn't give a good answer if the person is acting in honesty or charitability or good faith. But Sam is not acting in any of those ways, so it becomes a bad answer tactically. And we've fallen prey to this too. It's very difficult to notice this when you're in the midst of the conversation. But to me, one of the biggest telltale signs that you're talking to someone who is dishonest is if every time you try to bring up a hypothetical or a frame that you want them to engage with the information or topic, they refuse to answer the hypothetical, they refuse to engage with the framing. But then when they do to you, they give you a hypothetical, they give you a framing, and you engage with it. That's a good sign that you're acting with a dishonest person, and you need to become aware of that. And it's very, very difficult to realize that's happening in the middle of the conversation. Like, wait a minute, I'm agreeing with their framing for their sake, but they refuse to agree with any framing that I'm putting forward. Right. And it's very difficult to realize that that's happening. And
that completely irks me so much when people won't engage.
Yes.
Like, so much of our conversations are so meaningful because you and I both engage with one another. Like, we listen and try to, put some thought behind whatever crazy ideas we're coming up with. So,
well, that's why, and people who are ideologically in one direction won't realize it's happening. That's why I blew up on Dave.
Yeah.
Because I realized,
because
that was the entire first conversation.
So frustrating.
The entire first conversation was just that. In the second conversation, I refused to stand for that bullshit again. I'm not going to stand for that.
If you want to talk to us, you got to fucking engage
there has to be some level of engagement. Right?
Yeah. Or leave. We're not here for a lecture.
Or if you want to be honest about it and you're in a conversation or debate with someone and they lay out a frame, and you can explain why you don't like the frame. Sure. You can say, well, be specific. Like, well, I don't think that's a fair comparison because, X, Y, Z or whatever. But you have to, if you want to be honest, you have to engage with it. And, unfortunately, I think the only way to really handle these conversations with people, if you realize that they're being a bad actor, and this goes for Twitter, this goes for real life, you can't give a long answer. Even though long answers can look better for internet debates, because if you let the other person talk, it looks like they're winning sometimes. Mm-hmm. You have to hone in on one specific thing, because if you give a long answer and you give, like, if you lay out your thesis as Destiny kind of did, you're giving way too many points for Sam to kind of like juke around into and avoid, the weak points and try to pick at something that he's strong at. Yeah. But obviously Destiny's trying to go with this conversation in a good faith way, which ends up biting him in the butt.